listening to the AfterBuzz TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AfterBuzz Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies. This is AfterBuzz TV's Kourtney and Kim Take Miami After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AfterBuzz TV's Kourtney
Why are
and
y'all
Kim
mad?
Take Miami After Show.
Well, I don't know. I take my woo back.
Whoa, whoa. Bing, it's for doing you guys. If you're tuning in right now, this is the after show for Kim and Kourtney Take Miami. Hey, guys. Well, I'm going to go around the room. I'm going to introduce everybody first. So, to my left.
Hey, guys, I'm Susan Hahn.
I'm Jason Ikeler.
And I'm Diona Vaughan. And before we get started recapping this episode, I just want to address a couple things. Lately we've gotten a few comments from people saying that they don't think that we're super fans of the show. Well, first of all, we would not be here. We wouldn't drive, an hour, me another hour. What's that for you,
No,
Jason?
we'll say an hour. 2
hour.
hours.
10 minutes. We wouldn't, drive here to the studio an hour on our Sundays if we weren't super fans of the show. I think what's important to keep in mind is when we're watching the show, we all have our opinions and we share our opinions. And sometimes maybe we are hard on Kim or hard on, Scott, but this is our opinion. And just like you guys, we want to sit around and we want to dish. We want to talk about the episode. We want to talk about, what's happening with the characters, with what's happening outside of the show, news and gossip, and sometimes it's fun, but we're honest, and I would hope that at the end of the day that you guys would appreciate honest feedback and an honest recap of the show. So
Right, because we don't always agree.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes the Kardashians relevant is that everybody has an opinion on them.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we are everybody.
Yeah,
Yes.
Everybody has an opinion, and don't get me wrong, we always say it every week, and I'm going to say it again. Please, we love it when you comment, and just like now, we're addressing your comments. But just keep in mind, just because maybe we don't always have positive things to say doesn't make us, any less of a fan of the show. We really get into it, and we're passionate about what we think and our opinions. But, please continue to make your comments and bring it on, because we do read them, obviously. And please also continue to rate us on iTunes, because every single week we've been in the top 10 for the top after shows. And and we couldn't have gotten there if it weren't for you guys. So that's all I kind of wanted to say before we dig into this episode.
Thank you for addressing that.
Glad we got that out of the way.
Yeah, I just want to get that out of the way. And again, I want to remind you guys to make sure you download the show on iTunes. It's 100% free. You don't have to pay a single thing. And all right, let's dig in. So, see you later, alligator. After a while, crocodile. That little phrase you said when you were a kid.
We got it.
So what I'm about to say, it might not. Some of our fans out there, you might not appreciate what I'm about to say, but first of all, I was really disturbed by this episode. I wouldn't consider myself to be a big, animal activist type of person. I eat meat. I have leather. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate nice things and all that, but I will have to say for this episode, it really, really bothered me to see that they showed Scott hunting for alligator and shooting it. What do you guys think about that?
Well, he's vegetarian.
Yeah.
I'm semi-vegetarian. I eat seafood. I eat fish, but I was not okay with this.
Yeah.
I feel the same way. Like, I'm not against hunting if it's, I don't know. I feel like he was doing it more for sport.
Exactly.
And especially when it's an endangered species like that, it just seems kind of barbaric.
And I remember last week we were saying, because we saw the preview, they were going to the Everglades. And I made a comment, I made a joke. I bet you anything he's going to skin an alligator alive for his shoes. And those words really bit me in the ass. And the whole hunting thing, and I know that he did it as humanely as possible behind the ear, or behind the eyes. But it's just like the thought of this poor alligator's all sleeping at night, and then someone just shoots him in the back of the head. And to me, it's more heartbreaking.
Well,
yeah.
and I don't understand why they're showing this on the Kardashians, because this is on E. Like, I
Yes.
feel like this is something you see on, I don't know, I don't watch any
Animal
channels that
Planet
show
or something.
hunting.
I don't know.
Right.
But
Discovery.
disgusting.
Yeah, disgusting.
But,
just
yeah.
so unnecessary.
I agree. I had a really hard time watching it, and the idea that, you know, just like you guys said, you know, they're literally going out to hunt specifically for these animals at night in their own habitat. And, you know, poor alligator just doing his thing, you know, minding his own business. And not only did we see Scott do it, but we heard the shot, and then we see them pulling it, and then it was too much. And I was really, really actually surprised that this made it to camera for the show. So.
Well, because I thought maybe they would play it off like he went to do it and
That's
then couldn't go through with it.
Yeah.
But
I was shocked for the poor alligator, but more shocked at the fact that Scott really did pull the trigger.
Yeah.
I was pretty just appalled by that because, you know, Scott's very, I think, where is he from? The Hamptons. He's a city kid, and just, you know, just pulling that trigger just made me sick to my stomach. And I think it was Raul or Fat Joe, aka Fat Joe,
whoever he was.
that made that comment like, oh, you know, you're not so tough now. You know what? I did not like that comment because anybody could have
Because
a
an animal
gun.
is a defenseless.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, completely defenseless.
So-
Susan tweeted PETA.
Yeah, I tweeted PETA. I was
Let
like,
them know
do
what's up."
your thing, please, because I am not happy about this.
Not to go in his defense, but could I chime in real quick?
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, I'm on the wrong camera. Let's throw it to...
Steven, our engineer, he has an opinion about this. Go ahead.
There we go. All right.
I like the hair,
Oh,
by
yeah.
the way.
Thank you. Shows usually will not show hunting, but in the case that they do, it's usually species like the alligator, other species that are, it's legal for them to hunt because of their overbreeding and because of the fact that they're so abundant that hunting is a tool used to keep their population down for the rest of the animals. So I mean, it's terrible that we show it on TV, but it's certainly not like poaching, and it's certainly not something that is really something that I don't know, we should be really outraged against, as opposed to if they went out to like Africa and went poaching something.
Well, okay, I appreciate that point of view. At the same time, I feel like on a show like the Kardashians, on this particular show, I just don't see where.
And it was so graphic. They were draining the
yeah.
blood. It was, the alligator was still shaking. It's just like, it's one thing. It is what it is, you know, like this whole, you know, hunting for alligators, it is what it is. And if it's population control, we get, and not that we get it, but it is what it is.
Yeah.
Right.
But the fact that we see the blood, we see the animal, we see them skinning it, and then we see them eating it, it's just, that was too much.
I think it was
Well,
too
and it's
much.
on E is what I just don't get.
You're right. If we wanted to see that, we'd watch Jersey Shore.
Yeah.
I don't think it was. It's not something we would expect to see
No.
on this show. I think that's it's pretty much, you know, what
Well,
we're all
and I
pulling
think we're
for
kind of
too.
the target audience, and all of us were like closing our eyes, like we can't watch this.
Yeah, I couldn't watch
And you
it.
know, but we have to say we do have a fourth, and Keaton's obviously not here. She may be all for it, you know, like we said earlier, we all have different opinions, and I mean, for us three specifically, it was just too much. However, Scott did redeem himself.
Yeah, he felt some guilt towards the end.
And took his son and realized that, you know, alligators have daddies, you know, and I like the fact that he was like, you know, he felt for it.
Yeah. Well, and on a sidebar note, I don't know if there are any. Did you guys watch The Bachelor a couple seasons ago?
No, but I know who she is.
Okay, well, Vienna, she kind of gets her little 10 minutes or 15 minutes of fame back as she appears on this episode because it was actually her family that owned the alligator farm where all of this took place. So, okay, hi, Vienna. Anyway, and something else kind of funny that we were talking about when the show first came on. Looks like we got 2 new cast members, and you named one and I named one. Mark Cuban and Fat Joe.
I really thought that was Fat Joe to like 10
I
minutes
did
into
too.
it.
I'm like, why is Fat Joe on the show? Like,
And why
I
aren't they
didn't
like
get it.
introducing him as Fat
Exactly.
Joe? That's what I was
He
confused
looked
about.
just like him. And for all you guys, if you don't know who Fat Joe is, he's a very popular Puerto Rican rapper out of New York. And in this episode, I guess he was Scott's bodyguard, friend. I'm not really sure what's
Yeah, I
his
have
name.
no idea.
Raul.
Yeah, Raul.
But he looks exactly like spitting image doppelganger of Fat Joe. So.
And the other one, Chris, looked like
Mark Cuban.
Mark Cuban.
Yeah, so I thought that was pretty
And Vienna
funny.
looks like Haley Duff.
Right, exactly. So we have
So we
3
got
new cast.
everybody.
Yeah.
A lot of lookalikes in this episode. Moving on to fashion redemption. So it sounds like, well, not sounds like, but Kim made it on the worst dressed list, and of course, you know, she's boohooing and crying, and I think this actually came up on another Kardashian show that we covered before.
Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
Yeah, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I was just going to bring that up.
Yeah, it came up before about how Kanye like bought Kim this whole new wardrobe and he was dressing her, blah blah blah. So it's kind of interesting now. You know, that was, I don't know how many months ago or last year actually. Now that she's ending up on the worst dressed list, do we think Kanye's to blame for this?
No.
I don't know though, because I like her fashion choices. I like that she takes risks, especially since she's out in the public eye so much. Like, I think
Kim now or Kim before Kanye?
Kim now with Kanye. I think it's kind of cool to see her style evolve.
Right, because I feel like before, I didn't really, I mean, I think that she loved clothes, but I wouldn't say that she was really like a fashionista.
No.
I think she just wore whatever was trendy. Like those Hervé Leger dresses, like my goodness, how many color, how many, like, I mean, that's all she kind of wore. It was like the kind, you know, the same thing. But I love Kanye's fashion influence on her.
Okay.
But
I think she takes more risks now.
She absolutely does. And I know we were talking about this when we were covering Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Like, how do we feel about her basically getting rid of her wardrobe and Kanye kind of
taking over
and reimbursing her with a brand new wardrobe? And we kind of had our differences on that. But she's a woman that takes a lot of pride in what she wears and how she, you know, how she looks in the public eye. But I think more than anything, I thought it was cute that she cared so much about Kanye's reputation and what Kanye thought.
Well, and I've heard actually that his record sales have like suffered since they've been in a relationship.
I've heard the same stuff.
But I don't necessarily get that because he's always been kind of douchey himself anyways. So it's not like it's like a huge surprise.
Right.
Wait, why? What are you talking about, Taylor Swift?
I mean, who?
Oh God, I just had a brain freeze. What was I gonna say? Oh, I know what I was gonna say. So it's time for like a Preggers Watch. So how pregnant do we think Kim was in this episode, knowing what we know now?
Yeah.
Well, Key and I called it like 2 episodes ago. We can tell like she's starting to change a little bit.
Yeah.
And I think she announced her pregnancy in November.
Right.
They shot this in October.
Okay, so if she announced her pregnancy in November, we all know that when a woman announces her pregnancy, she's normally like
3 months.
3 months along.
Second trimester.
So that means, let's see, September, October, November. So that means she was pregnant, in September, and this episode shot, what did you say, October? So yeah, she was about 2 months then. Okay. All right.
And you can kind of see it.
You can see it.
I mean, because she's always curvy, but she just looks like a little more intensified.
She was especially boobalicious getting her spray tan on this one too.
To say the least, if you want to call it that.
Are her boobs real?
I think so.
I think so.
Are they? I mean, they're just so like perky and just sit up and
amazing.
Okay.
We know what your opinion is. Does it matter to you if a girl's boobs are fake or not, Steven?
I mean, honestly, to me, size don't matter.
Oh.
So I don't even know why girls would get that unless they have like a, what is it called, a
mastectomy.
That's not a mastectomy.
No, mastectomy is for guys.
What
a mastectomy?
Is it vasectomy?
No, a mastectomy.
No, vasectomy is for guys.
When you have breast cancer.
Is it a mastectomy?
No, it's called
it's called a mastectomy.
Is it really?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, I have no idea.
No, it's called. Is it?
Yes.
No, I don't think we're pronouncing it correctly.
Mastectomy? Yeah, isn't it? All right. Hold on.
I don't think we're pronouncing it correctly.
But that's why you think they would
let's
get.
figure this out right now. Mastectomy.
I think they're real though.
Mastectomy. Mastectomy.
It is a mastectomy.
Yeah.
So it's mastectomy, not mastectomy.
How do you spell it?
Mastectomy. Mastectomy. I guess maybe I was putting the incorrect emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Okay, sorry.
We know what you mean.
Yes, you got what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, well, let's move on. All right, let's talk about baby weight. So at this point, Kourtney, she's had 2 kids. She's really trying to, get her body back. And I know I wasn't here last week, but Scott kind of made some
issues about her weight. Yeah,
issues about her weight, which I think is horrible. I mean,
it came out wrong. It came out wrong. I think he was just trying to. I mean, Scott's like that tough love kind of guy, And I mean, in the end, he cleared it up, and I mean, she looks amazing.
She looks great.
2 kids or no kids, like her body is
rocking.
banging. Yes, love her. She's just like could do no wrong. She's so hot.
She is, and I think she rocked it in her Us Weekly photo shoot.
And you know, and she reiterates the fact that, you know what, I'm gonna lose this baby weight in a healthy way. You know, she can absolutely like starve herself and overwork herself the way that she did when she had Mason, but she learned the last time she like passed out, and she's like, you know what, I'm gonna take it slow. I'm gonna eat more. I'm gonna exercise slowly. I'm not gonna kill myself, and she looks amazing.
Yeah.
That's what you call curves on that body.
Hats off to you, Kourtney. All right, so let's talk about Kim's finances.
Okay.
All right, so now we know that she wants this bigger, better house, which I always think it's funny, you know, when celebrities, you know, okay, nothing is ever big enough or good enough, you know? So the house I have now has 5 bedrooms, but now I want a house with 10 bedrooms, whatever. Now, you guys know about the whole situation. This was like, what, 2 weeks ago, where like lots of different celebrities, their financial information was hacked.
No, I didn't know that.
You know? Well, okay, it was all over the news, girl.
Okay. I don't watch the news.
Did you know about that?
It's like bad news.
No,
there.
not until you were talking about it earlier.
Okay, well, this was a big story that broke. It was about 2 weeks ago, but some hacker, he hacked into a lot of different celebrities' financial information, and Kim Kardashian was one of them. Kanye West, Obama, Biden, a slew of people were victims of this. But and he posted their like bank account information. He posted like just all of their debt, what their credit rating was.
Damn.
Posted it all on a website. Now I'm sure it's since been taken down, but Kim was on there, and so I found it kind of interesting with this whole hacking situation, and you know, her finances being revealed, and then you know, we see this episode how she really wants this dream house, and then she gets a call from her financial advisor, you know, like, yo, you need to slow it down. But what I will reveal, just in case you guys didn't know about this hacking thing, is that it said that like she had like $10K in the bank, and it said that like she had a mortgage, like her mortgage was like maybe $26,000 a month, something like that. So it just, the reason why I bring this up is, do we think it's
She only had 10K in her.
only 10K in the bank?
Is this just one? She probably has more than one bank, though, right?
Who knows? But I think it's interesting how maybe things aren't always what we think they are when it comes to celebrity. You know what I mean?
Well, of course.
So, because I would have assumed, like, somebody with, you know, a Kim Kardashian, I would have assumed your house is paid for, your cars are paid for. Oh, that was another thing that came out, is that I think that, like, Kris Kardashian, the family in general, was paying well over $100,000 just in car leases.
That's crazy.
For the family.
Wow.
Just car leases, that's it. So, I don't know. We come to this, and, you know, what
it's
do
a big family.
I don't know, though, because I think you can always judge if you're not in their position, but at the same time, as soon as I start making more money at my job, then I'm like, I need a bigger apartment, or so I think it's all kind of relative. And if you have that kind of money, you might as well enjoy
and
it.
don't get me wrong, I'm not judging.
Yeah.
I think it's very interesting because, you know, Kim, she gets a phone call from her financial advisor, and she's like, whoa. You know.
Well, we've seen Kim not grow up, but we've seen her finance grow.
Yeah.
You know, throughout. Since the beginning, she had that apartment in Beverly Hills. And then she had or that condo when she was dating Reggie, and then I think she had. Did she have?
House.
She did have a house.
That's the one with Chris Humphries, right?
Yeah.
And then
that was an apartment, that was in a hotel.
She does have a house in Beverly Hills, though.
Yeah, she does have a house in Beverly Hills. No, remember she had that apartment. She had an apartment or like a condo type.
I think in LA, right?
Yeah, in LA.
Okay.
And then we see her upgrade to, I think it was a condo or something.
Well, remember on the shows, a lot of times they've been living in these hotels. Like they lived in the Gansevoort and all these different hotels.
Well, Khloe did.
Well, so did Kim.
Yeah, well, so did Kim. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, good for her. But I love how Kourtney was like, listen, you know, like, we get it. You love fashion, but I mean, there are more relevant things to life than just a couture dress.
Well, I was actually surprised that she paid for a lot of it, because you would think anybody, if they put something on her, everybody sees it. So I was surprised to know she pays that much for her clothes.
Well, you know what? It's funny that you say that, because I went on some gossip blog not too long ago, and I thought the same thing. Like, okay, why would you even be buying your own clothes when A, you own a clothing store? I mean, obviously you're not getting it for free, but you know, you're not paying full ticket price. And B, you own your own clothing line, so why not just create what you want, have it made, and you don't have to pay for it?
Because how can she create like a vintage Chanel suit?
Well,
you know what I mean?
Okay, no, that you can't do.
But ever since she started dating Kanye, she's all about the couture. Before she was wearing, I'm not saying
off
that
the rack.
Yeah, it was like it was designer stuff, but now she's wearing off the runway as opposed to off the rack.
Okay.
And so how is she going to like duplicate a Margiela coat or something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I get what you're saying. But what was interesting from this blog, it was saying how one of the reasons why Kim isn't one of those celebrities that gets gifted clothing is because her body type isn't like the ideal type for a lot of these different designers, you know, to sell.
Yeah.
So in that sense, she's not automatically given a lot of clothes. So we would think. You know what I mean? Because a lot of these girls like Jessica Alba and, you know, Olivia Wilde, a lot of these girls, they get paid a certain amount of money to show up on the red carpets with these dresses on. And I don't know if people realize that. But it's like, okay, here's your check. You know, you stepped out on this red carpet.
And again, though, these are actresses, though.
True.
And Kim Kardashian's not really an actress.
But she's still going to call a lot of attention to anybody's line, brand, whatever, you know.
Do we feel that maybe she's not getting these free clothes? Because do we feel like maybe her time in the spotlight is kind of running?
I don't think so right now with the pregnancy and the Kanye thing. Like, I think she's just as much in the press as ever.
Okay.
I think people have always gone through phases with them where like, oh, Kim's time is over. We're so sick of her. But I think she's still very relevant.
Yeah. No,
she's
I agree.
super relevant, but maybe they're just not giving her clothes right now because they don't want her wearing their brands while she's pregnant and making them perhaps look not like how they're supposed to look.
Well, but at the same token, there's a million different, you know, designer companies that can make maternity stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, or you would create maternity lines just for her. You know what I'm saying? To sell more stuff.
Endless amount of celebrities created maternity lines just for that. Like, I think Heidi Klum created her maternity line after she had her 5 kids.
I know, had her half dozen. But no, I don't know. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah.
You know, I think another big takeaway for me out of this episode is that things aren't always what they seem.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
You know
never.
what I mean? So.
But I kind of like when Kourtney was calling her out about shopping too much. Like I see where she's coming from, but at the same time, that's who Kim Kardashian is. Like she's photographed every day, so you kind of don't want to wear the same thing over and over. And
Well,
True.
Right, but I think Kourtney was not saying more like, you know, I think it was more in lines of maybe use your money more wisely. And she just said that before her financial advisor called her. So I think it was older sister kind of letting her know, like, it's all good. We all love fashion, you especially. However, make sure that you're spending within your budget. And clearly she wasn't. Because she got that phone call from her financial advisor saying, you know what, you keep going at this rate, you can't get your dream house.
Well, didn't she have this? This happened like in like one of the first seasons of the Kardashians too.
Yeah.
Where Kim had like a shopping problem.
Yeah,
and
she had a little
intervention.
she had her intervention.
Totally. Oh, moving.
But I mean, we do have to agree, they live a fabulous life. I mean, I would not
absolutely.
complain.
Well, and she works her ass off for what she has. That girl never sleeps, I don't think. So you kind of like...
You got to give her kudos for that.
Yeah.
She works hard.
100%.
Yeah.
No, I agree. Got to give credit where credit's due. And I guess just to round this out, do you guys think at the end of this episode that Scott got a little redemption for himself for shooting this alligator?
Yes.
Yeah, but at the same time, it was like when he was like crazy man when he was doing it.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I still like Scott, but I just think that was disgusting.
I wish people would call it.
So
I would love to
disgusting.
hear what, you know, more fans think about it. I mean, I don't want to harp on it and make it like the only issue from this episode because I know it wasn't. But
I mean, this episode was called "See You Later, Alligator." I didn't really mean like peace out, bye, dead. You know what I mean? I had no idea where this was going.
No.
Yeah, me either.
I mean, we were all just like
biting our nails,
shocked,
looking
like,
away.
Is this really happening? You know?
I know.
And then when he's like skinning it,
Oh, I can't.
so disgusting.
I didn't even. I looked away. I can't believe you guys watched it.
I know.
I couldn't stop watching it.
I couldn't. I was like, I just saw your guys' faces. And I'm like, if I watch it right now, I'm gonna have nightmares.
I was actually I was really shocked at how much they were showing.
Yeah.
That's what really surprised me.
Is it? Do you feel like they're just the storyline is always the same shit that they had to really go outside the box?
But if they like wanted to fake it, they definitely could have. But
they just didn't have to show us everything. I didn't need to see him point a gun at this animal.
Or why was it Scott that pulled the trigger?
Well, he's the one who wanted to do this little excursion. You know, I don't know.
I just saw the scene on the TV that you're talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, was it playing behind
It just played, yeah. And it seems to me like this is one of those things like, because usually TVs will not show
Well,
something
no,
like
you
that.
have yet to
Exactly.
see.
It's
You have yet to
I have
see.
yet to see, but what I'm saying is, when you're thinking of why they did something like this, have you been paying attention to the ratings of the show at all? Like, have they been going up or going down? Because usually any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah.
And when no other show has really done something like this. So having them do it so blatantly kind of shows, hey, everyone, we're doing
still
something
here.
that we're not supposed to be doing. Let's
Yeah.
get in the news for it so people will be like, what's this show that are doing this?
Even though it's kind of unethical.
No, any publicity is good publicity. I mean, you're talking about Kim Kardashian, who is pretty much one of the best people at creating a public image and how different things affect your public image.
Yeah.
They show this episode, lots of people get offended by it because this guy did it. She's going to come out, and probably we'll see in the next few weeks after this has been released, she's going to come out and donate a lot of money to PETA and a lot of different organizations, and it's going to improve her image.
I think you make an excellent point, and I would love to see in the next week and a half, just like you said, PETA is going to be all over this.
Well, I tweeted PETA. I was like, do your thing on
If
that.
they don't know, they know now.
Exactly.
PETA's going to be all over this episode. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like the top story in all the gossip mags in the next week or so. So I would love to see how this plays out. I really
Well, because
would.
Kim's kind of had like a bad relationship with PETA anyways.
Well,
they flower bombed her or whatever.
They love them furs.
yeah. Well, all right, guys. I think, did we miss anything here? I think we really captured
the essence.
the essence of this episode. I think it's time for some predictions.
And now,
Look up some
your
gossip.
AfterBuzz TV predictions.
All right, so scenes for next week, or it might not even be next week, because I know next week for us it's Easter weekend, so we'll have to check and make sure that there is a new episode airing next week for you guys. Just an FYI side note, but it looks like, well, we've all known that Khloe has been trying to have, Khloe and Lamar have been trying to have a baby, and I guess I had never even heard that Kourtney had even considered becoming a surrogate for her sister. So
That made me so happy. That's
Well, because there's like
awesome.
always so much stuff in the press about Khloe's wanting to have kids. Like, I don't usually believe any of it, but I thought that's really cute and really like so nice.
Yeah, and it's the first time I've ever really like heard that before. So I don't know how true it is, but I mean it is something that we're it's coming up within the season of the show, and I think it's an amazing thing. It really is, considering they're sisters, and it's like what you wouldn't do for your family, So I don't know.
Well,
That was
they're
kinda
each
nice.
other's soulmates.
Yeah.
Kourtney and Khloe. They call each other their soulmates. They're like beyond sisters.
That's cute. It's sweet. It's really sweet. And then what else is up is what is Scott up to? So we've seen Scott go from being Mr. Bad boy and hanging out.
Yeah,
and
but do we
partying
need a
and
private investigator on him?
It depends on what the juice is.
But
What do you guys think?
Well, it's Kim that's putting the PI on him. It's not even Kourtney. It's kind of like invasion of privacy.
But that's how it's always been with them. Like Khloe and Kim have always been like, really pushing, Kourtney when it comes to stuff with Scott,
I think maybe Scott back in the day would have cheated, but I don't think A, he has the time for it, and B, he would like even want to deal with the wrath of Kourtney or Kim.
Because they've become so huge that it's like I think even if he wanted to, he can't, because that will hit the presses in like 60 seconds.
And just back up for a second. We might not even be talking about cheating. We could be talking about partying. We could be talking about it. So it might not necessarily, be about another woman or cheating. It could be about something else that he just shouldn't be doing.
Yeah. Well, it'll also be interesting to see if they show any of the Khloe and Lamar issues.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's got cheating rumors as well.
I know. I've seen a lot of that like plastered on the tabloids these days.
I know what's hitting the news right now is Kim and Kanye breaking up.
Yes.
Kanye supposedly ran off to Paris Fashion Week, and without her, and he's just kind of losing his love for her. But I mean, this is all gossip, and people are coming down really hard on her weight.
Well, I think people need to lay off of her weight.
I
mean, she's pregnant. She's a pregnant woman, so leave her weight alone.
Yeah. I
think that's disgusting.
Yeah.
So all right, you
I've
guys.
got one more thing.
Oh, you've got one more piece of gossip.
Rumor has it that they're gonna name their baby
Northwest.
So it's
oh my
sounds like
God.
an airplane.
That's
Northwest.
freaking ridiculous.
Or
That's an
like
airline.
That sounds like a rumor.
That's got to be a bad rumor.
It's in the LA Times.
Yeah, it's in the LA Times.
Oh, so it must be true.
Yeah. North.
Northwest in the house.
Oh, all right, you guys. Thanks for tuning in for another juicy AfterBuzz
And
recap.
please, we want to hear your guys' comment about the whole alligator
Yeah.
thing.
Yes, please. We want to hear your comments about the alligator. Were you disgusted? Were you upset? Didn't bother you? We really want to hear your thoughts on that. But we might see you next week. We need to double check and make sure there's a new episode of the show next week because it's Easter for us. But in the meantime, download free episodes and check us out on YouTube as well. And again, comment, rate. We love your comments and we read them. And where can we find everybody?
You guys can find me at It's Susan Hahn on Instagram, Soundtracking, and Twitter.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Jason Ikeler.
You guys have to do the soundtracking thing.
I know,
I'm telling
gonna.
you.
All right.
It's so fun.
I got to get hip to the... I'm on Twitter, but anyway, you guys can find me, Diona Vaughan, on Twitter at Go2GirlTV. That's Go2GirlTV. And until next time, peeps.
See you later, alligator.
See you later.
So gross.
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.